Immigration enforcement remains one of the most polarizing and emotionally charged issues in the United States today. Across the country, passionate voices on all sides fill the streets, town halls, and airwaves, each with their own vision for the nation's future. The debate is not just about policy, it's about the very fabric of American society and what it means to belong. At the heart of the conversation are questions about security, economic opportunity, and national identity. Some argue that strict enforcement is necessary to protect jobs and maintain order, while others believe that America's strength lies in its diversity and openness to newcomers. These competing visions shape not only political debates, but also the daily lives of millions. Under the Trump administration, immigration enforcement has reached new levels of intensity. Agencies like Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, have expanded their reach far beyond the border, conducting operations in cities and towns across the nation. This shift has brought federal enforcement directly into urban neighborhoods, workplaces, and even schools, creating a climate of uncertainty and fear for many. For immigrant families, these actions have sparked deep anxiety. Parents worry about being separated from their children, and entire communities live with the constant fear of unexpected raids or detentions. The emotional toll is profound, affecting not just those at risk, but also their friends, neighbors, and local businesses. In response, local governments are being forced to confront difficult questions about their own roles in federal enforcement. City councils and county officials debate whether to cooperate with federal agencies or to push back in defense of their residents. These decisions are often contentious, reflecting the broader national divide. Nowhere is this tension more visible than in North Carolina, where the struggle between federal authority and local governance has become a defining issue. In cities like Raleigh, the debate is no longer theoretical. It's playing out in real time, with real consequences for families and communities. For many residents, the impact of federal immigration operations is felt in their everyday routines. Children worry about their parents, neighbors look out for one another, and local leaders grapple with how best to serve and protect their communities. The debate over immigration enforcement is no longer just a distant policy discussion. It's a lived reality. To truly understand the impact of these policies, it's essential to listen to the voices of those most affected. By exploring the perspectives of local residents, officials, and advocates, we can begin to grasp the complex and far-reaching consequences of America's ongoing debate over immigration enforcement. Federal immigration enforcement is now targeting Raleigh, North Carolina, following a major operation in Charlotte. Mayor Janet Cowell confirmed that Customs and Border Protection is preparing to operate in the city, turning speculation into reality for residents. This move signals a broader strategy to intensify enforcement in metropolitan areas, making immigration a pressing local issue. Local leaders are scrambling to respond, balancing cooperation with federal law and the need to protect their communities. Advocacy groups are mobilizing, and fear is spreading, especially among immigrant families. Raleigh now faces the direct consequences of national policy, forcing a citywide conversation about safety and identity. The recent Operation Charlotte's Web offers a preview of what Raleigh may face. In just 2 days, over 130 people were arrested in Charlotte, many of them collateral to the operation's stated targets. The sweep left families separated and communities fearful, with critics arguing it undermined public safety by eroding trust in law enforcement. For Raleigh, Charlotte's experience is a warning. Large-scale federal actions can disrupt daily life and sow fear far beyond their intended targets. The city is bracing for similar impacts as federal agents prepare to arrive. In a decisive and highly publicized press conference, Mayor Janet Cowell addressed the growing concerns surrounding federal immigration enforcement in Raleigh. She drew a clear and unwavering line. Under her leadership, Raleigh police will not participate in federal immigration enforcement actions. Cowell's statement was not just a policy announcement, it was a message to the entire city, signaling her commitment to protecting the rights and safety of all Raleigh residents, regardless of their immigration status. She made it clear that the city's priorities are rooted in community trust and public safety, not in enforcing federal immigration laws. Mayor Cowell emphasizes that local police must focus on keeping neighborhoods safe and building relationships with residents rather than questioning people about their immigration status. She believes that when police are seen as allies, not enforcers of federal mandates, it encourages everyone, including immigrants, to report crimes, cooperate with investigations, and seek help when needed. This approach, she argues, is essential for maintaining the trust that is the foundation of effective community policing. Cowell points to Raleigh's steadily declining crime rates as proof that this strategy works. She credits the city's success to the strong partnerships between law enforcement and the community. By fostering open communication and mutual respect, Raleigh has become a safer place for everyone. The mayor highlights that these positive trends are not accidental. They are the result of deliberate policies that prioritize inclusion and cooperation. Her stance sends a powerful message to immigrant families. In Raleigh, you can seek help from the police without fear of deportation or reprisal. Cowell wants every resident to know that their safety and well-being matter, and that the city stands with them. This reassurance is especially important for those who may feel vulnerable or targeted by recent federal actions. Still, Mayor Cowell acknowledges the limits of her authority. She is candid about the reality that federal agents can and do operate within Raleigh, regardless of the city's stance. While she cannot prevent federal operations, she is determined to make sure that local resources are not used to support them. This distinction, she says, is crucial for maintaining the city's integrity and the trust of its residents. The city's official policy is designed to protect community trust and uphold public order, even as federal operations continue in the background. City leaders, including Cowell, are working closely with community organizations and advocacy groups to ensure that residents know their rights and have access to support. Mayor Cowell's message is clear and resolute. Raleigh will do everything within its power to shield its residents from the fallout of federal immigration enforcement. She pledges to continue advocating for policies that protect the city's most vulnerable, ensuring that Raleigh remains a welcoming and safe place for all who call it home. Governor Josh Stein has publicly urged federal agents to focus on real threats, not ordinary residents. He criticized recent operations for targeting people based on appearance, raising concerns about racial profiling and civil rights. Stein's plea highlights the tension between state and federal priorities. He can't stop enforcement, but he can call for restraint. His message is clear: enforcement should be precise, not indiscriminate, to avoid tearing families apart and eroding trust. The governor's intervention signals solidarity with local leaders and offers reassurance to anxious communities. Ultimately, Stein frames the issue as one of values, justice, safety, and moral responsibility. The Department of Homeland Security responded with a standard, non-committal statement. Every day, DHS enforces the laws of the nation across the country. We do not discuss future or potential operations. This response asserts federal authority while providing no details, leaving local leaders and residents in the dark. The lack of transparency fuels anxiety and speculation, making it difficult for communities to prepare. DHS's silence underscores the power imbalance between federal agencies and local governments. While local officials address public fears, the federal government maintains operational secrecy. Raleigh is left waiting, uncertain when or how enforcement will unfold. News of impending raids has triggered fear in Raleigh's immigrant neighborhoods. Families worry about separation. Workers fear detention during daily routines. This anxiety leads to social isolation, as people avoid public spaces and even essential services. Local leaders warn that fear undermines public safety. If residents distrust police, crimes go unreported and communities become more vulnerable. Advocacy groups are responding with Know Your Rights workshops and hotlines, empowering residents to protect themselves. These efforts are vital, but they also reveal a community on the defensive, bracing for disruption. The challenge: maintaining safety and trust amid uncertainty and fear. Behind every statistic are real people, families, workers, and children whose lives are upended by enforcement actions. These are not just numbers on a page, but neighbors, friends, and colleagues whose daily routines are suddenly disrupted. When enforcement actions take place, the ripple effects extend far beyond the individuals directly involved, touching every corner of the community. For many, a raid means the sudden loss of a parent or breadwinner, leaving children facing traumatic choices. The absence at the dinner table is more than just an empty seat. It's a missing source of comfort, guidance, and stability. Children may struggle to focus at school, haunted by uncertainty about their family's future. Parents left behind must find ways to support their families emotionally and financially, often while dealing with their own fear and grief. Local businesses and schools also feel the impact, with labor shortages and anxious students. Employers may suddenly find themselves without trusted employees, forcing them to reduce hours or even close their doors. Teachers notice the change in their classrooms. Students who were once engaged now sit quietly, distracted by worry. The entire learning environment shifts as anxiety spreads among classmates and staff. The fear radiates through neighborhoods, affecting everyone from entrepreneurs to teachers. Conversations on front porches turn somber as neighbors wonder who might be next. Small business owners worry about the future of their shops, and teachers gather in hallways to discuss how best to support their students. The sense of uncertainty can be overwhelming, making it difficult for communities to feel secure or united. Leaders like Cowell and Stein see the human cost and urge compassion alongside law enforcement. They recognize that while laws must be upheld, the approach matters. Community leaders advocate for policies that balance safety with empathy, encouraging open dialogue between law enforcement and residents. Their goal is to ensure that enforcement does not come at the expense of the community's well-being. The debate is about more than policy. It's about the kind of community Raleigh wants to be. At town hall meetings and in living rooms, residents discuss what values should guide their city. Should Raleigh be a place where people live in fear, or one where everyone feels welcome and protected? These conversations shape not only local policies, but also the city's identity and future. Will it be a place of fear and division, or one of safety and inclusion? The choices made today will echo for generations, influencing how neighbors trust one another and how children grow up seeing their community. The path forward is not easy, but it is one that requires courage, understanding, and a willingness to listen to every voice. The answer will shape the city's future. As Raleigh stands at this crossroads, its residents must decide what kind of legacy they want to leave. A legacy defined by fear, or one built on hope, unity, and compassion. Raleigh's experience is a microcosm of the national immigration debate, bringing abstract policy into sharp local focus. The conflict raises questions about federal power, local authority, and the meaning of public safety. The Trump administration insists on strict enforcement. Local leaders warn of the dangers of fear and mistrust. The lack of federal transparency leaves communities anxious and unprepared. Ultimately, how Raleigh responds will reveal its values and priorities. The stakes are high. A city divided by fear is less safe and less cohesive. The challenge is to balance law enforcement with compassion, shaping Raleigh's identity for years to come.